The Sharks did everything but get a save when they needed one.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And tonight we'll be breaking down the Sharks' 4-3 loss to the LA Kings in a game where the Sharks did everything that you would want from them, except for get a timely save, as the Sharks dominated the Kings in this game. So we'll break down Askarov, as he had a rough night tonight. The offense continues to hum along. Michael Misa is having his coming out party. And then we'll dig into the numbers of this game as the Sharks absolutely dominate the LA Kings in every facet, but can't come up with a timely save as they lose 4-3. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. And coming out of this game right now, you have to start with Askarov, who got his third start in a row, right, and played solid, right? He played really well against the Devils in a game that the Sharks lost 3-1. You know, he made some timely saves in the 6-5 win over the Minnesota Wild. And you could see where the coaching staff, right, they want to kind of be, you know, like Askarov, he's starting to kind of burn the net. Let's go back to him. Let's let him continue to kind of build up his confidence. And tonight was like the worst thing that could happen for Askarov, because not only did he play poor, he was the main reason why the Sharks lost tonight, right? And not all the goals are on him, and you know there was some things that, like the defense, it's very much that we've had this conversation before, right? The chicken and the egg of, is it the bad defense and Askarov doesn't trust him, and maybe that's why he's going down a little bit early, you know, going to the butterfly a little bit early, or is it the speed of the game where he's just overreacting to it, and like it's. You know, and then the defense, right? They don't trust. Maybe do they not trust Askarov? That's why they're trying to be too aggressive making plays. Whatever it is, right? Right now, the defense and the goalie are just not in sync, and you saw that tonight on several of the goals. Where, you know, again, Askarov giving up 4 goals on 14 shots on goal. He needs to be better, right? And these are going to be moments that Askarov is going to have as he goes through his first full season of the NHL, right? Consistency. He played well the last 2 games. You know, the Sharks went back to him here, and he didn't respond the way you want. And again, I already have people who are like, he's terrible. He's you know, like, what are the Sharks doing here? It's part of the there's no difference between Askarov, Dickinson and Misa and all the other young players, right? They're going to have their ups and downs. And it's just, when you're a goalie, those ups and downs are magnified, because though the downs lead to goals, and the Sharks just couldn't get a big time save when they needed it, right? And, you know, going through the goals, right? The first goal with Corey Perry there, where Dickinson, you see the thinking behind Dickinson, right? Is there's a shooter, I want to go out and challenge him. I think he sees Graf kind of cutting back. He thinks Graf's going to come in and kind of help cover. Graf doesn't. Dickinson goes out. Corey Perry, who scored a bajillion goals in his life, right there, he scores another one, right? Corey Perry, noted raccoon, digging in the dumpster. He finds some gold right there. So, right, some of the second goal, or you know, that's a snipe, and everybody right now is shooting high on Askarov because he goes down early. I think the going down early process is going to fix itself as Askarov, the game slows down for him, and he's not going to bite too early. You know, the Drew Doughty goal, there's 2 dudes in front of him Mario Ferraro is down. I don't know what Ferraro's doing there. He's trying to look around them. As he tries to look around the two guys, Drew Doughty just takes advantage of that, right? And perfectly placed shot from Drew Doughty. Like, the old man still can do it. So, and the Brad Clark goal, right? One-on-one, you'd love to get a save there. And these are the moments, again, that Askarov is going to learn from and hopefully start to get better and build off of these moments. And, he said, I just got to play better. And again, it was a tough night for Askarov, right? I can't defend 4 goals on 14 shots. Like, tough night. But positively, as again, we know where this team is and where they're going, and they're going to have nights like tonight. And there was a lot of good things to take away from tonight. The Sharks offense looks to be extremely good, right? And we talked about on Monday's episode, while the Sharks are scoring, maybe all the the kind of analytics might be a little bit red flags. Tonight you got all the offense, and you actually probably Darcy Kemper probably kept this from being worse than it actually was. Like, the Sharks probably could have scored 5-6 goals tonight if they got a little bit more puck luck here, actually. But you got like offense from so many different levels tonight, right? Misa Celebrini, that Celebrini pass, just, oh my God. Eklund, huge tonight. Kurashev having his best game as the San Jose Shark tonight with a goal and assist. Wennberg, after a really poor first period from Wennberg, really settled in and had a big time performance tonight with a goal and assist himself. Like, that second line with Kurashev, Eklund, and Wennberg was outstanding tonight. Right, the Misa. Well, okay, I'm gonna hold on to Misa here for a second, but like, you see where this Sharks offense, when they're playing, they're able to come in waves, and it's not just Macklin Celebrini having to do everything, right? And the Sharks' second line really came to life tonight, and was a huge part of why this offense was clicking tonight. And especially for the first half of the game, where they were doing everything right except for getting the puck in the net, and they finally got Kemper. They were able to kind of solve Kemper and score there. And I think for the Sharks this season, right, we kind of know, like, they're in that kind of fun, frisky phase of like, we're gonna score a bunch of goals. Like, I firmly believe this team is going to score a bunch of goals, and they just can't play defense. And tonight was right. Or even if they do play defense, that they can't get a timely save. And right, they just can't get all 3 things to click. Where either like the Devils game, right? The defense played pretty solid and the goaltending was good, but the offense just couldn't get it going that game, right? Especially the second period of that game. Or the Wild game, right? The offense was excellent in that game. Askarov made some big time saves. The defense was a hot mess in that game. Tonight, the defense was solid. The offense was great. And Askarov, like, the goalies can't make a timely save. So it's very frustrating on that fact, because you get 2 out of 3, it feels like, every night, right? Where you feel like this team is so close to starting to kind of put it together, but they can't just get everything going. But I'm still like, the offense part of it. Like, this offense is working its way to being above average offense, which I know doesn't sound great, but remember, this is the worst offense in the league the past couple of seasons. They were the worst offense in the league last year, and they were the second to worst offense in the league in the 23-24 season. So if this offense is anywhere near average, that's a massive jump from where they were before. And I think that shows where this offense is going and where it can be. But I think that this team is going to have to win games. They're going to have to win 5-4, which makes for fun hockey, and that makes for fun stuff to talk about. It's not a long-term winning formula, and once the Sharks figure out how to defend and their goaltending catches up to them, like, you see the blueprint of where this team is going. But talking about the offense is really fun. And a big part of that tonight. Well, he didn't get on the scoreboard. He was absolutely driving play. Was Michael Misa. So we're going to talk about Misa. We're also going to talk about Klingberg's return, as it was a little shaky tonight. And then we'll dig into the numbers of this game as well. So make sure you guys stick around. Hockey season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. Let's be real, getting tickets can be a total headache between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's the ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. The great thing, they have the zone deals, so you can pick a section. Game Time will pick seats, and you can save big. Of course, you can also go through, kind of comb through and see what you're looking for. Great thing, of course, is when you go to check out, no surprise fees. You know exactly what you're going to pay when you go to check out. And, of course, you can see what your seats are going to look like. Not that the tank has any bad seats, but if you're, on the road with the Sharks. So take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. All right. Before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe, as of course we'll have reactions to Sharks games throughout the season. We'll get you guys ready for the Sharks games. We'll have coverage on the Barracuda and the best prospect pool in the NHL. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course you can watch on YouTube as well. So Michael Misa might be pretty good at hockey. He was an absolute monster tonight, and he had 8 shots on goal while playing 10 minutes and 10 seconds. The only forwards who had less than him were Reeves, Ryan. 8 shots on goal led the Sharks. You were seeing I think we're starting to get to the, we can start to loosen the training wheels a little bit right here and start to kind of get that 10 minutes up to 15, right? And I know, right, the Sharks are going to be very, very careful, and they don't want to push them too far, but you can see, right, just the IQ, the intelligence, the hockey sense, him knowing exactly where he's supposed to be. He was outstanding tonight and should have had a goal. I still can't believe he didn't score. Gets the puck, tries, he sees Kemper's down, and instead of just rushing the shot, right? Because everyone, that's what most people do, right? Kemper's kind of down. I'm gonna just shoot on that. Patience, young Skywalker, as he kind of skirts around, and if he just gets the puck up half an inch more, that's a goal. But credit to Darcy Kemper there for hanging in there on that one. Darcy Kemper had a hell of a game tonight. Sometimes you just tip your hat. Darcy Kemper was the reason why the Kings won this game. He was ridiculous. I'm pulling up the Darcy Kemper. Yeah. Expected goals against in all situations, 506. Darcy Kemper gave up 3. Ridiculous night from Kemper. But anyway, back to Misa. You see the subtle plays are there, and now we're starting to get some of the splash plays, right? And his ability, Misa's ability to just kind of read the ice and play with his teammates. You're seeing some of the strong play along the boards. He's solid in his own zone, and he's going to make mistakes as an 18-year-old kid is going to do in the NHL, but he's not going to have, it's fair to say he's not going to have the Celebrini impact this year. That's not a fair expectation for him, but you can see, I think he's further along now than what we saw from Will Smith last year, right? And Will Smith, had really struggled the first month of the season, was kind of on the same plan of the back-to-backs and stuff. And Wasn't really till like kind of, you start to saw some more splash plays here and there around Thanksgiving. It was, and then again, right in January where everything clicked for Smith. Um, you're starting to see some more of those splash plays now from Misa, and we're on game what 5 or 6 for Misa. Like my still pretty like my timeline for Misa is I think Thanksgiving, where the next month or so we're gonna really start to see Misa earn more minutes and earn bigger opportunities and start to kind of get more of these opportunities. And when Misa takes over that 2C, like it's over, guys. Like because you saw Eklund tonight just be an absolute monster. And credit to Wennberg. Like Wennberg's had a little bit of a rough start, but even in the first period, Wennberg had a rough start tonight. But and bounced back, had a goal, big goal, had that big assist on the Kurashev goal. But when Misa is ready to kind of take the reins from Wennberg, I think that's when you're really going to see this offense take off. So awesome to see from Misa have this, continuing to kind of take these steps and kind of check some more boxes. We got to get Misa playing more than 10 minutes a night, though. Like I know you're trying to be careful with Misa and not rush him, but he's ready to go, man. Like you need to start, like he needs to be 15. Like you need to kind of start being in that range with Misa, like that 15-minute a night from Misa. So and then quickly before we kind of dig into the numbers, I think the other kind of big takeaway tonight, Klingberg continues to be John Klingberg. And I know Klingberg was brought in to run the power play and all that stuff, but I would have really liked to see, as weird as it sounds, I would have liked to see Orlov kind of continue to run the power play right now, and especially this 6-on-5/6-on-4 at the end of the game, right? Where I think Orlov kind of fits the role of a distributor a little bit better. Because I mean we've seen his power play be super efficient and so far to start the season, right? It's top 10 power play going into tonight's game. And it runs around Celebrini and Eklund and Toffoli and Smith and these 4 guys who have built this chemistry up over the past year, knowing where they are, and of course just Macklin Celebrini's cerebral, like just hockey IQ of he's just a wizard, right? I mean, freaking pass to Will Smith, mercy. Anyway, I'm gonna be thinking about that for a while. And it feels like Klingberg was just kind of pushing things and doesn't in this situation. I think you just let those 4 guys go, and your job as the defenseman is just to kind of keep the puck moving and let these guys do their thing. And like when they want you to shoot, they'll get it to you to shoot, right? And I think that's where Orlov really does a better job of just kind of taking that back seat and making sure like, hey, my job is to just keep it in the zone and keep it moving. And especially on the 6-on-4 where Klingberg was like, it felt like James Harden just kind of like shooing everybody away. Like, I got this. And you have freaking Macklin Celebrini standing right next to you who does actually have this. I really thought Celebrini was going to tie it, to be honest, but that's where it kind of felt like Klingberg was like trying to go ISO, and the rest of the offense was trying to continue to do the things that they were doing and that they're really good at, and trying to find those backdoor plays, which I worked all night tonight. And I would like to see Orlov back on the first power play. As weird as it sounds, Orlov has really settled in and has become a big part of the Sharks, and I think has really found his role. And I would like him to continue to be the number 1 power play. Like on the second unit where things can be, like guys are still trying to figure things out there. Like if you want to have Klingberg there, that's fine, or at least until Klingberg kind of gets back up to speed after, missing so much time. I like to let Orlov continue to he just needs to be the Chris Paul, right? Just make sure everybody's getting their touches. That's all he needs to be. So We're going to dig into the numbers. It's really insane how the Sharks dominated this game. It actually reminds me of the Sens game from last year, which had a very similar result of the Sharks just dominating. They couldn't get a big time save when they needed one. But so we're going to dig into the numbers of this game, look at how well the lines did, everything like that. So we'll get to it here in just 1 second. All right, before we finish up, I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen today. When you're done with this episode, go check out the Locked On NHL Game Night. They cover every game. Yes, all 16 games from yesterday or from tonight, or every night. They'll cover every game. So even tomorrow, where there's one game, there's a show every night that there's a game. They'll do that until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. You get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, let's dig into the numbers of this game because, again, like the Sharks this is one of their best offensive performances when it came to like just generating offense that we've seen in a long, long time. Like it's kind of amazing like how, again, they get a save at some point. So we had 47 minutes of 5-on-5. Shot attempts during that time were 49-30 in favor of the Sharks. Actual shots on goal at 5-on-5 are 23-12, 24-11 scoring chances in favor of the Sharks, 16-12 high danger chances, 2.2 to 1.24 expected goals for. Every goal scored at even strength. Both the Kings and the Sharks had goals at like right after the power play influence goals right there. But the second period, San Jose, like we have not seen a second period. Like how often have the Sharks struggled in the second period, right? Even just going back to last week against that game against the Devils, they couldn't even get a shot on goal. This one, they had the shot attempts were 30-6 in the second period, 16-2 scoring chances from the Sharks in the second period alone, 8-1 high danger chances. Like we have not seen a San Jose Sharks period like that in a long time. And the unfortunate thing was the goals in that were 2-2 because, again, just need to save. The lines tonight. So we had with Gaudette out, Kurashev, kind of playing that third line there. Really quickly, sorry, before we so I mentioned on the preview show, but Gaudette, it sounds like it's going to be, a little bit, but not on IR right now. We know Letty got put on IR and Patrick Giles got called up. I think with Giles, it gives him a little bit of flexibility, especially in the bottom six of centers options there, especially if, with Misa out, potentially out for some back-to-backs. Give Giles, who's a natural center, just gives you a little bit of flexibility, especially too also with Gaudette out as well. So that's why they went with Giles, who played really well in his limited time last year. And I think could be a really attractive bottom six player, but really good in the PK too. Excellent PKer. All right, so Eklund, Wennberg, Kurashev played 12-28 tonight at 5-on-5. Again, this line was absolutely dominant. 15-5 shot attempts, 6-2 actual shots, had a goal, 0.37 to 0.08 expected goals for, 7-2 scoring chances, 3-1 high danger chances. This line was, Eklund tonight continues to be one of the Sharks' most consistent forwards. Just an absolute monster tonight. Like I talked about with Wennberg, I think had a really poor first period, really bounced back in the second and third period, and it was a big part of the Sharks tying this game up. And Kurashev, easily his best game in teal. And you see with Eklund and Kurashev, like two guys who can kind of push the pace there. I think this is the Kurashev that the Sharks envisioned when they signed him this offseason, as a guy who can help play with some pace, and especially with Eklund, right, who's such a high hockey IQ and a guy who can play with pace. Now, when you get Misa on this line, let's go, boys. Smith, Celebrini, Toffoli played 8:43, 13-2 shot attempts, 3-0 actual shots, had a goal as well. 0.81 to 0.02 expected goals for, 8-0 scoring chances, 3-0 high danger chances. Celebrini's a superstar. Like, he's a superstar. Will Smith tonight, I think, had a much better night. We're still going to get those Will Smith like blind passes, trying to do a little bit too much plays every once in a while. But Celebrini's a superstar. Already has 10 assists on the season. Like, I mean, 70 assist season potentially, or are we looking at for Celebrini? 60, 70 assists. It's probably going to be around there. And if you get 35 goals, you're looking at 100 points for Celebrini. Yeah. Skinner, Misa, Colin, Graf, 546. Again, Misa, we got to get those. Ryan Wasowski, we got to play Misa more. Just play Misa more. 546, 4-4 shot attempts, 2-2 actual shots, 0.5 to 0.04 expected goals for, 3-1 scoring chances, 3-0 high danger chances. Graf does a lot of the dirty work there. Skinner's had some opportunities here. He needs to bury a couple. I think we're gonna get another Skinner outburst here really soon. I think Skinner, they're going to start to come here, especially if Misa continues to play the way that Misa's playing right now. So, and then Goodrow, Delandria, Ryan Reeves played 542, 6-4 shot attempts, 5-2 actual shots, did give up a goal, 0.28 to 0.17 expected goals for, 3-2 scoring chances and 2-1 high danger chances. This line's been like, as much crap as I've given, all three of these players, this line's been it's been a very good line for the Sharks this year. And I will say the announcer saying Ryan Reeves has been very good for the Sharks, and then he immediately turns it over as the sentence is coming out of his mouth. Absolutely hilarious. But Ryan Reeves, again, that's why I'm an idiot, because on it with the microphone, he's been very good for the Sharks so far this year. So, but defensively, pairings, Dickinson, Desharnais, 80% Corsi for, 8-2 shot attempts. Orlov, Liljegren, 64% Corsi for, 18-10. Ferraro, Klingberg, 37% Corsi for, 7-12. You do wonder if you might see some tweaking. I wonder if they go back to Orlov, Klingberg, Ferraro, Liljegren. Because we know, like, Dickinson Desharnais is like that. That's a real, like, that pairing has been working very well for them, and especially with like the limited minutes that they're playing Sam Dickinson here. But Dickinson was at 12 minutes here tonight. But and actually Desharnais was less than him. So there you go. You do like Klingberg playing 25 minutes, guys. What are we doing? His like first game back. What are we doing here? You do wonder, like, I wonder if we maybe see that work, because Liljegren Ferraro pairing has played pretty solid together. I wonder if Orlov Klingberg, but that's not a lot of foot speed out there. Mukamadula needs to get it back here sooner rather than later. Also, Mukamadula was practicing, so hopefully back soon, because we'd love to get Mukamadula out there. We'll look at, so poor Askarov tonight again. Don't mean to continue to throw, bury him here, but 4 goals allowed on 10 shots, expected goals against 1.54, 7-14 save percentage, 4 of 5 high danger, 2 of 3 mid danger, and then 4 of 6 low danger. So again, Askarov, not the night that he envisioned, and I think brighter days are ahead for Askarov. I'm not on the sell Askarov. What are the Sharks doing here? Like, he is a rookie going through rookie struggles, even as a goaltender. So, but yeah, overall frustrating, because this game you snatched defeats from the jaws of victory, and the Sharks, it's frustrating because you're throwing away such a good offensive performance tonight. And again, tip your hat to Darcy Kemper, who made some big time saves. But yeah, just a little frustrating tonight with the Sharks. But heading in the right direction, like, this offense is going to be good. And when Misa takes off here, guys, like, this offense is going to be ridiculous when Misa takes off. So that's going to be it for me tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until tomorrow. Bye, friends.